Yes, we're back, baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How long does this go on?
How we doing? So we're back. We have guests. Timely Rain. The newly famous Colin Sledge.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I was the newest golden ticket winner for like 2 or 3 weeks.
For 1 week.
That was cool.
1 week.
I think the guy the next
Oh
week.
yeah, but his episode didn't come out yet, so I'm counting it as like 2 or 3.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. Okay, I guess I'm just taking it from here. Okay, cool.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, so it's good to be back. And Colin, you're famous now, and I knew you before you were famous. And let's talk about it, dude. You guys just got back from a funeral.
Sure.
Yeah.
Eric, I'll start with the first question.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody started treating you differently?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
lots of people. I get booked more by people I've never met. People at Secret Group are like giving me more like tough love. They're trying to like I'm not just going to be nice to you, but they're sort of being more nice to me by not being nice.
Like just comics or people
Comics.
involved in the secret group? Or?
Also, I have been recognized a few times, which is weird. But my favorite was, so we went to the Thirsty Texan, the
open mic.
the open mic that Royce and Alex run, and I did my set. It was fine. I didn't do that good, but lately I've been prioritizing jokes that I might do on Kill Tony to sort of give them some run. And these guys came up after, and they were like, "You should go on this show, Kill Tony. You should sign up."
You just like pulled up.
I just pulled up my
Dude,
Instagram. I was like, "Here."
You'd be great on this
These
show.
jokes would fit really well on that show.
Do you know Joe Rogan?
You ever heard of this guy? Kev, you hear about this?
You do comedy?
I was there with Timely and Kyle. They had to sign up at Shakespeare, so I was hanging out with them, and someone passed around the list for the Mothership, and they put me first on the Mothership open mic. So I had to basically just leave right away and go to Mitzi's and wait. And so I went to Mitzi's. I sort of figured out what I was going to do, which I did not think I would make the list, which maybe I should have prepared for. But I did the open mic, and then straight from the open mic, they said, like, go back to the lobby, and someone will direct you to the green room for Kill Tony.
Okay.
And then I just had to wait there. And I got to hang out with the band some, and I got to see all these people, and it was, but I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know, and they're all like sort of.
And it's just you in there, right? They wouldn't let Timely.
They would
come
not
in.
let Timely come. There was, I do, yeah. So
They didn't let you have
it was
your-
a crowded green room. There was a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
They didn't let you have your emotional support animal.
No, they did not.
And that's rough. But so for the people that don't know, Mitzi's is what is Mitzi's? That's the special place in the Mothership, or that's like a different
It's
bar?
like the bar.
That's the bar area
of the Mothership.
Okay, and you're hanging out in there, just procrastinating, just.
Yeah, I'm just pacing around, and then I went first at the open mic, which is not great because there's no
Ideal.
host set
No.
at the Mothership open mic. They say like, don't be on your phone, don't heckle. This is Colin Sledge, and I just go up cold. And considering that, I think I did pretty fucking well.
You did pretty good. You did pretty good.
And I did the jokes that I was gonna do on Kill Tony that night as like a dry run, and I'm glad I did because there were some more lines that I had in, and I was like, I'm just gonna cut it and just stick to a really simple set of 3 jokes, and just not worry about segues as much because they already kind of flowed.
And then did you like the second interview went pretty good too, though, right?
Yeah, I knew the second interview would go well because of what happened
Right.
after the golden ticket thing. So I felt really comfortable. It's like, I don't know exactly how this is going to go, but I have an interesting enough thing to talk about that it's not going to go wrong.
Having a story to tell definitely helps you.
And they're good at, interviewing you and making it funny without me really having to make it funny.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so that story you guys had was Timely almost.
Yep.
Timely almost got you guys in jail, huh? So how did it come? What were you doing? You got pulled over.
Got pulled over in Elgin. I pronounce it Elgin. I don't know why. So whatever. I get pulled over, and It's for the tail light. Okay. My tail light doesn't. Mike has the same thing where the headlights are always on, so you don't know when the tail lights aren't on. So I get pulled over for that, and they want everyone's IDs.
He goes, I think we're getting pulled over.
It's like I'm almost certain because there's no
way.
other cars near us, and this police officer is being very aggressive. So pulled over into, what was it, O'Reilly?
And O'Reilly's Best Western parking lot in the middle of absolutely nowhere. It was freezing fucking cold and
Yeah.
probably like.
Which is not a
1
problem
in the
because
morning.
we're in the car, and there's no reason for us to get out of the car, right?
Right.
So she asked for everyone's IDs, and Tommy doesn't have her driver's license because she's irresponsible and lost it, even though she found it again. And she gave the police officer her passport. And when the police officer took her passport back to the car to type it in or whatever,
No, man. So look, I'm not irresponsible. I'm ADHD. I smoke a bunch of weed, and so I sometimes I use my passport to roll a joint. I break up the weed, and
That's very irresponsible.
It's very clever, though.
my two most important things I need when I'm going somewhere: my ID and my weed. And if they're together, I'm not going to lose them. Anyway, on Saturday we were at the Dirty Show, and I remember rolling a joint with that passport.
I remember that too.
And
I remember thinking, that doesn't
remember
seem
you
smart.
Looking at me and
To show
judging
this to
me.
cops.
But he looks at me with this face all the time, so who knows what it really means. And
You know exactly what it means. It means the same thing all the time.
anyway, the lady comes in and she's like, and I could have done better. I will admit. I could have.
I didn't nail this one.
I didn't nail.
Were we drunk? Were we drinking?
No, you were high. You had
was
smoked
high.
some of the weed at Poor Choices.
Because I had actually at Poor Choices used my wallet case to roll a joint with. And so the lady, she's like, let me see your ID. I'm like, I don't have my ID. And she was like, okay. I was like, I do have my passport. She's like, that's fine. And so like I try to hold it out and just show it to her. And she like takes it from me. And she walks back to the car. And as soon as she does that, I like turn to Colin and I'm like, I think there's a bunch of weed in that passport. And he
And-
goes, you're like, I don't even remember what you said, but you were not. What?
Yeah, but the thing is, I had such like a God complex because of my night up to that point. I was like, she ain't even gonna find it. There's nothing.
Low key.
And then she comes
There's
back.
literally nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can ever go wrong ever in my life again.
And
And then she comes back, it's
and
like-
it's like literally, she's like, ma'am, do you know you have marijuana in your passport?
And what did you tell her, Timely?
I said, are you serious?
No, that's not what you said.
Yes, I did.
That's what you said at
I
first?
said, are you serious?
Who put
and then,
that there?
And then I was like, oh, it's CBD.
it's
I was
CBD.
rolling a joint earlier. I got it from a dispensary in Houston. And then
My
she's
thing is like
"Ma'am,
just say it's Delta 8. Just say it's
I
legal
forgot the
Delta
word.
8.
I've never bought Delta 8.
That's insane, though. And
And so
She's
then
like,
she
"This
was like,
isn't
this
I was
is
like, Timely,
probable
look at
cause."
yourself. No one is going to believe this is CBD.
And I forgot about the weed in my wallet. And so she takes us out one at a time. She searches Colin, and
They find my legal Delta 8 gummy and they let me keep it.
because you look like that.
Yeah, I was wearing what I wore on the first Kill Tony thing. I look like a total dork, and so
And
so kind of
As
like you do.
opposed to how you dress now.
Yeah, like kind of like
Well-
you dress now.
I don't always look like this. Sometimes I look like a douchebag.
You look like you just came from like court.
Yeah.
Well, they're pressing charges. They heard we talked about it on Kill Tony.
no, and so then they go sit him down on the curb. Like I said, it's a Best Western O'Reilly's parking lot in the middle of the night off the highway, and he's wearing a white shirt, just sitting there, looking like he's like from the Outsiders or some dumb shit.
It is 20 degrees.
It is 20 degrees. And then she pulls me out. She searches me and she's like, you wearing any shorts under your pants? I was like, I'm wearing boxer briefs. And I think because she was a lesbian, that she was like, this lady might be a lesbian. And she liked me. And
Okay.
then she sits me down. And then they search Daniel. Oh, yeah. And then the white guy cop shows up and you tell that part.
So he starts talking to us, and he's like, "So where y'all coming from?" And we said like, "Oh, we're going from Austin to Houston." And we signed, I think you said it's like we signed up for Kill Tony at the Mothership or whatever. And he was like, Kill Tony. He wanted to get tickets. Like I can never get tickets to that or something.
And I immediately was just like, okay, well, there's actually like a standby line you could get in sometimes. Like, just get there early. Like, there's at least a handful of tickets. Like, trying to ease the situation.
If I had been there, I would have just the whole time been like, timely, shut the
That's
fuck
what got us
up.
out, dude.
No.
Shut the fuck
Humanizing
up.
us?
Shut the fuck up.
She played this great, honestly.
I'm a
Except
fucking
for giving
idiot.
the cop the weed. She did great.
That was the worst thing I did. But
And honestly,
I got myself out of the hole I got us into.
yeah, part of it for me was like, I mean, are you going to go to the judge and say, and then she gave us her passport filled with weed? That seems like hard to believe.
It's like, ma'am, do you think I am stupid enough to give you a federal legal document with a picture of me at 17 years old, full of marijuana? Who's it gonna believe?
She's like, yeah, I do believe that.
It's like, yeah, look at you.
Yeah.
I compared it to Titanic, where it's like I put the diamond in the coach. Then I put the coach on her. I put the coach on her. I kept saying, timely. You're like, I put the weed in the passport. Then I gave it to the police officer.
Then you gave it to the police officer.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was literally the stupidest thing I've ever done. Then she pulls out like a big ass bag of weed, baggies, scales, and she asks him to destroy it. And she makes him like stomp on every
Like
single
square
bag
dance.
of-
So
square
she's-
dance. She's doing a Super Trooper thing at some point because every time Daniel thinks he's like stomped on the weed enough, she like would click on her flashlight. and
Keep
be
going.
Like,
Yeah, there's
missed
some
a
there.
spot, missed a spot, missed a spot. It was ridiculous.
It was like a
I almost
humiliation
started
ritual.
laughing.
It sounds like, because that doesn't sound like regular protocol, honestly.
Well, I was like,
Sounds
they're
like she was
destroying the
pretty
evidence.
Cool,
Was
dude.
was it like less than 4 ounces? I'm assuming.
It sounds like no.
It was about like a. It was honestly about like a QP.
I don't know what
Four
that means.
4 ounces is a felony.
Yeah,
I have no
What?
idea what
So
any
it
of
was
this means.
less.
Wait,
it was
so-
like
Weed is still a felony if you have enough?
weed is a
4
felony.
ounces, yeah.
Almost
Whoa.
every because it's
Well,
decriminalized
it's
inside of
also
Austin and Houston,
having
but
a
not
scale.
the.
You
Having
can
a
have
scale?
less than 4 ounces and have a scale, and it becomes
And it
a felony.
becomes a
'cause it's
felony, 'cause then
intent to
it's a
distribute.
distribute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When I was on Kill Tony, I said like, well,
I love
they
how he starts the sentence like that, and you can just see in his face. He's like, well,
no, this is
because
it's about
when I got
the
my
story.
golden
I've
ticket.
started that sentence so many times myself.
Oh my
you know
God.
what I mean?
You yourself
Don't project your narcissism onto me, okay? When I was on Kill Tony talking about this story that we're talking about right now, okay? It's like Colin's such a douchebag. No, look in the mirror. Okay. So they asked, like, it's like, why are you so worried? And so there's something like that. And I was like, well,
You didn't see the people in my car.
one of my friends they found the rest of her weed, and then my other friend, he had a lot of weed and a scale and little baggies, and that the crowd like was like pretty concerned at that point. And I was like, and the scale, I was like, oh, they had a scale, so I said like, oh, that's the scale I think he had an eating disorder or something. I made some joke like that, and I think that's going to be our official story moving forward.
Okay, yeah. Official story. if
You
anybody's
probably
watching.
shouldn't have just said that then.
Yeah. No,
We
that's
can
our-
cut this.
That's our official story. Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, why is he in Austin with that much weed? Why does
He was so socially.
We were in a hurry because it was a double header, and I told him like we're leaving at whatever time,
Oh, okay.
and if you're here, cool, and if you're not, good luck. And so he just grabbed his bag, and he did not know what was in his bag.
Oh man.
I mean, that same thing happened to me, so I understand.
Okay.
And then what's funny, Albert called me like the next day. He was like, "You got a golden ticket. You're going to be going to Austin more often, and if you drive with Houston Comics, you need to like be very aware because these people carry drugs."
I
Yeah.
haven't done it
I
since
tell
then.
everybody anytime that we get in my car, I'm like, you can't have anything on you at all, like. And then, so usually they'll just lie to you.
Yeah, and man, you troublemakers.
I did okay.
So what happened? So the cop just
So they
was like,
stomped on
okay,
all the weed and they
stomped
put
on-
us in the car, back in the
Well,
car.
I remember we're sitting on the curb and the cop lights are behind you, and I looked at you and I was like, "We're best friends now." And then Daniel's like still.
What else did
sweating.
you say?
That you looked. Hold on, we're getting there. We're getting there. And she's like, she comes up, the cop lady, and she's like, "Okay, y'all can go get back in your vehicle." And I was like, move fast. We all have to get in this car now.
Oh my
And we get
God.
in the car. She comes up. She's like, just wait right here 1 second. She like hands us back our IDs. She goes back to her car. And I was like, Colin, I don't know if this is an appropriate time to tell you this, but like you looked super hot. With those cop lights
in
behind
cop
you.
lights.
And for the
Weirdo.
first time,
This is so weird.
I have a type.
She's a bad influence on me.
For the first time, like you like actually like you smiled, like cracked a smile, like because it was a very intense situation. And then she comes back, she goes, "All right, Mr. Sledge, I'm gonna let you off with a warning for your taillights." And I'm pretty sure my jaw dropped. Wow. I was trying to keep a face,
And I was like, what about them?
"He really was."
Talk about
I could tell you were
white privilege, baby.
Well,
Yes.
I was the only one that got a warning.
What did you guys get?
Nothing.
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 I mean, they got humiliated.
Colin's
I didn't.
white privilege. God,
You had to
guys.
dump out your.
I got
okay.
more humiliated on fucking Tony,
Timely,
on Kill Tony about this.
Yeah,
than
if you
at
weren't
the time.
humiliated by this experience, then you just weren't experiencing it properly.
I do stand up comedy.
That's true.
Man.
And then I was like, as soon as she walked away from the car, I was like, Colin, roll up the fucking window. Colin, roll up the fucking window.
His hands are just shaking.
Oh,
the whole
yeah,
Right
we-
back.
Oh, yeah.
He rolled up
fuck.
the window, and I was just like, I was screaming.
Colin was just
And-
sitting there like, I knew nothing bad would
I
happen.
told you.
Like
That's
golden
exactly what I
tell
said.
you.
I got a golden ticket.
I'm the main character. Okay.
No, I said this was timely magic, and
Yeah.
I took credit for it.
Yeah.
But I have
So, go ahead.
I was say on the way back, I was like looking around. I was like, man, I could really fucking smoke some weed. And like me and Daniel were like, fuck, we don't have any weed, because it's all on the fucking floor of the O'Reilly's parking lot. And then I was like, wait a minute. I remember when she made me shake out all my stuff. Like she didn't actually show me my bag of weed. And I checked in my bag and it wasn't there. And it was just on the floorboard of the car.
So you guys smoked on the way
She was
back.
so proud of that. So proud of herself.
I just pictured Daniel being like, fuck, that was fronted to me.
No, I literally just saw dollar signs on the ground just going away. I think you had a loan of $40.
Yeah. So when I was on the curb, I was thinking they're gonna see I'm a nice guy. I'm not like a distributor, but I did remember we had just started listening to "Let's Get It Thug Motivation 101" by Young Jeezy, and it was very prominently displayed on the screen of my car. So I was like, this might not be great, but I don't know. Maybe that helps. Like this guy's such a dork. He's listening to music from 2006, and he thinks he's cool.
Avril Lavigne, probably.
Don't talk shit on Avril Lavigne.
Don't talk
I like
shit about
Avril
Avril
Lavigne.
Lavigne to me.
Okay.
I did not sleep great that night, I'll say.
Oh, you were riding a lot of steam right there, buddy. Golden ticket, almost got arrested.
Was the adrenaline when you got home from the whole, not the getting pulled over thing, but just the whole Kill Tony
I'll say
ordeal?
the Kill Tony thing, I was able to sleep because I would use weed to sleep or whatever other stuff. And I was able to fall asleep, but if I wake up at 4 a.m., I would just be like, okay, I'm awake. What's up? And then I would just remember, and then my heart would start racing, and then I wouldn't be able to sleep. So for the next week or two after that, I only got 4 hours of sleep a night, which wasn't great because I had to get back to Austin and do shows and stuff.
I remember for probably 72 hours after, I would just have my book in my pocket and I just pull it out and look at it, and put it back in and pull it out and look at it. And
So my book is in a box. We talked about this. I did a podcast with Rick Diaz and some other Golden Ticket guys, and we talked about where our book was, and some of them have it displayed. Mine is in a shoebox with all my Kill Tony wristbands and the warning I got from the police officer.
That's
mine's
amazing.
In